Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. Now, I've been a bit quiet the last week, pretty much haven't really said anything on YouTube since my last Toon Tuesdays last week. You know, I've been taught if you've not got anything nice to say then just don't say anything at all, which is pretty much the situation at the... It was going to happen eventually. I've done well up to now. On with the video. I've not said anything nice in a while because there's been nothing good to say. Unfortunately, last week's Toon Tuesdays, basically Newcastle revealed that Rafa Benitez would officially be leaving the club. I said at the time, there's no doubt more news would come out about that as the days went on. Yesterday was officially, well, it ended on the 30th of June, didn't it? Yesterday was the 1st of July, where Rafa Benitez's contract finally ended, and Rafa Benitez released a statement. Basically, it was a message to the fans. I haven't got the whole thing here, but he started off by saying since the 5-1 win against Spurs back in 2016, he felt like it was a very emotional day and he belonged to NUFC. He then went on to thank players, fans and staff for the championship winning season along with 2 years in the Premier League. He then went on to say, and this I'll quote this bit, he wanted to stay, but those at the top of the club did not share the same vision. So he said in the message that he didn't want to sign an extension. He did want to stay, but it's basically everything that we've suspected was happening. Is that if Rafa was going to stay, he would want to go on and do something with the club, not continue staying out of the relegation zone. And yeah, it's still no easier to take. I mean, it's a week later now, and I mean, what can you say really? At the end of the day, he wasn't getting the offer he wanted. I don't think anyone's got anything against Rafa for leaving, to be honest. It was a situation that it was going to be very tough for him to go on and carry on in a job where the ambition wasn't there. And that is exactly why he decided not to sign his extension. And I don't think any Newcastle fan can begrudge him for it. Back when Newcastle United officially announced that Rafa Benitez wouldn't be signing a new deal or staying with the club, it was also rumoured that potentially Newcastle United didn't actually tell Rafa this news, and that Rafa actually only found out when his friend saw it on Sky Sports and then told him. Still don't know if that's true, but unfortunately it's not unbelievable with Newcastle United at the moment. But one thing I also said, potentially rumoured, that the reason this happened and the reason that Newcastle United announced it without really letting Rafa know the situation first is, again, potentially because Newcastle United spat their dummy out of the pram when they heard that Rafa had been linked with China. And at the time, last week, I said that I really couldn't see it happening. I thought Rafa was pretty settled where he is in Liverpool. Newcastle wasn't too far away. I understood that he was leaving us, but I really thought it would either be for another Premier League team or that he may take a little bit of time off. But I was wrong, very much so, because Rafa has now signed a deal with a Chinese outfit. It's believed to be a 2.5-year deal for approximately £12 million a year, which pretty crazy. The team are called Dalian Weifang, I believe. And Rafa has actually come out and said that he's had higher paid offers in the past, but have never matched his ambition in the way this opportunity does. So obviously, and this is what I said last week, you immediately look at it and do go, is he going? It's for the money, isn't it? Really, I mean, I don't know. I think very well of Rafa, and maybe he's earned. He's been around for a long time. He's worked at a lot of clubs, and maybe he just fancies a change, head away somewhere different. But who knows? I mean, we are talking real money here. I read earlier that they've just spent 230 million on a training academy with 22 pitches, 6 of which are floodlit, 2 of which are indoor. I mean, that training academy is 100 million, is 2/3 of what Newcastle United are supposedly getting sold for. So that is the kind of money they are putting in over there. I think they've got a 61,000 seater stadium. So, you know what? I'm still gutted that Rafa's gone. And I'm also gutted because now that he's signed this deal, if we did get a new owner in, we aren't going to be able to bring Rafa back now. So the whole situation is it's not great. And it is a bit of a downer. But at the same time, I mean, as I've said earlier, he wasn't getting the contract offer that he wanted. Newcastle United didn't match his ambition. He sounds like he wanted to stay with us, providing he was given the opportunity to improve and not just continue stagnating. And officially, once Newcastle United have told Rafa to go, then it's up to him what he does next. And if he's chose to go to China, then I wish him the best of luck. And I just wish that he was still here, basically. But yeah, what we do next, who knows? One thing I've also heard on Mike Ashley's side of things, rumours, who knows, is that the reason Rafa went was because the new owners aren't keen on Rafa Benitez, and that is why Newcastle United let Rafa Benitez go. Is any of that true? I'm siding on not, to be honest. I just want the takeover to go through. That's all I can say to that. I think it's Ashley most likely covering his back. And this, unfortunately, is what's being playing on the back of everyone's mind. That we get into the start of the season, no takeover has happened, and Ashley's trying to blame the leaving of Rafa Benitez on the new ownership. Oh, well, the new owners didn't want Rafa. Oh, the deal didn't quite go through in time. That is everything that's sitting in the back of everyone's heads right now, hoping it's not true. So again, all I can say to that is, please, if we've lost Rafa but the takeover goes through, it's not great that Rafa left, but at least we met our end goal, which was to get the takeover. If we lose Rafa and don't get a takeover, it's just disgraceful, to be honest. I'd like to finish off with some good news, but unfortunately there isn't any, so instead I'm going to talk about something else, which is the Newcastle United players. Obviously, the manager situation is everything everyone has been talking about, but what is going on with the players? Perez, we know, has pretty much been saying he's been wanting to leave since the end of last season. There's a number of rumours about where he's going to go. I've heard a few potential rumours of bids for around 20 million, which, to be honest, I don't think is a bad price for Perez. But if we sold him for that, there's no way we are going to see that money again. I mean, the big sticking point that I've mentioned a few times was that I believe Rafa had final say on transfers in and transfers out of the club. Now that Rafa has gone, I can really see some players flying out the door as Ashley tries to bring in some money before he goes, unless potentially there's some background dealing of the new owner saying, like, look, you can't just start slogging everyone because I want to have say over that when I get into the club. Who knows? But players like Hayden, again, big up to Hayden for the way he performed this season in the end after what was not a good start, after admitting that he wanted to leave. He came back and did us a good job, and I think we actually probably owe it to let him leave this summer. Where he's going to go, I don't know. Will that be for much money? I would probably say not, despite the fact that he had been really good for us. And then on top of that, what worries me as well is, you know, if you think about Rafa Benitez, he was much loved by the fans. I believe he was, from the majority of the team, I think he was probably much loved there as well. And if you think about it, you know, we got promotion from the Championship, and we had 2 seasons. One was a good 10th finish in the table. The next season was still a good finish, but battling relegation both seasons, if we're being honest. And despite that, had a very hard-working team who played for Rafa, and there was never any notions of players not getting on with the manager or wanting to go. And something that worries me, and I don't want to get ideas into any players' heads, so hopefully none of them are watching this video. I'm sure there won't be. But some of our players, you know, Longstaff's been linked with Manchester United. He came out and publicly said he has not played enough times in a Newcastle United shirt and does not want to go, which is amazing. And I hope he doesn't go. But we don't have a manager. We've got an owner that we don't want trying to get a takeover. You know, if Manchester United came in with a big money offer, we are not in a good situation right now. And I think Longstaff's a local lad, and I don't think he'll go. But some of our other young players, or even good, you know, Shaw, he had a cracking season at a reduced wage. I mean, at a good fee. Was it 5 million we got Shaw for? Look at Lejeune, Lascelles, young English defender, Dubravka. Not for a second do I think these players are knocking on the door asking for a transfer request, but we are not in a good place right now, and we need to hold on to our good players. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a bit carried away at the minute, but it's just another thinking point as to why we need to get things sorted quickly. Right then, guys, that is it. I've not said anything since last Tuesday because, like I said, I like to make fun, happy videos about football, other things, Newcastle United, but unfortunately there is very little happy or fun about Newcastle United at the moment, so I hope I've not depressed everyone too much with this video, but I started Toon Tuesdays and I'm going to carry it on for the good or the bad, unfortunately. And just to finish off, I'll say it again as I have done for the last however many weeks. Just let the takeover go through. The sooner it goes through, the sooner things can get better. Because again, as I've said, we're getting closer to pre-season. We don't have a manager. I don't know what is happening with players like Perez, like Hayden. God only hopes that Sean Longstaff stays. And I don't know, where are the heads on the players right now? What are they thinking? We've got an owner who doesn't want to be here, and we haven't got a manager. Absolute madness. Yeah, let me know what you think down below. If I've missed any news this week, as always, let me know down below as well, and I'll try and cover it next week. I've got a feeling this video is going to be quite long, and you might have noticed the flag did actually fall off the wall a few more times, and I had to keep sticking it back up again, so I might have to ditch that for next week, so I can't be bothered. But yeah, alright guys, thank you for watching. As always, drop a like if you are for some reason enjoying Toon Tuesdays, and I'll catch you later.